Like we're heading to extra time, but there's still 5 minutes to play here, Mark. And by all means, there could be more chances. Still in the box, and it's another goal! And it's Andre Cole, the hero for Croydon! We thought it was over, but it's not over, and Croydon look like they're going to go all the way to the win.
We can't say that now.
Here goes Yuki Sasaki into the area. Panagaris, Chrissy Panagaris. Adelaide Cobras have taken the lead.
Falcon there, but it leaves Owen Windsor. And a third for Metro Stars.
Here's Emma Ryan. She's not one of them because she's from Darwin. The shot from DeCola. Lily DeCola scores in the cup final again and wins it for West Adelaide.
So as the ball cuts back here to Odenwalder. And James Odenwalder scores. He makes it 2-0 for West Adelaide on the day.
I bet he was going to be Travella if he puts one in. He goes himself instead. And it's still Soy Sakani. It's unbelievable, David, as well. And that one is definitely going to be credited to him.
Will have to be chased down by Rapawano. He'll put in a cross of his own. Hobbs wasn't able to capture it. It's in! It's not the one that seals up the Atletico promotion.
I got the skills to make the girls sing, and the geezers too. Yeah, we're doing this thing.
Welcome back to One Game at a Time for episode 6. It is Wednesday, the 1st of April. I'm Seb O'Neill, and as always, joined alongside my co-hosts. And my question for this week, Mark, starting with you, if the option is there, would you or would you not use a bidet?
No.
Okay, good start. Alessio, for you?
No, I'm happy not to. I've never used one before, but it hasn't been a thing that I've been wishing to, so I guess no.
And David?
For what purpose?
What other purpose do you use a bidet for?
For its intent.
Yes.
No, I wouldn't use one.
Okay, so that was a nice simple question this week. Had to think on the spot. Yes, for another week as well. We'll go through our picks of the week. And we'll start off with David.
Well, it's the 1st of April, isn't it? And I think the legend goes that wasn't there a change to the calendar, the French calendar, about 400 or 500 years ago, and they made instead of making Easter time the start of the year, they changed it to the 1st of January, and those who were still celebrating it at Easter time were considered fools, and therefore we have April Fools and all the pranks that come with it. So I thought we'd just do a quick review of the April Fools that some of the clubs did today. And I'm not sure what order you've got them in. There was so there's Metro Stars on the left. They announced this morning they were going to be having leather couches installed in their main stand. I think with these things, it has to be believable, isn't it? So to be a good April Fool, it has to be believable. So West Adelaide's Mo Salah signing for them, which was one of a few where clubs were claiming that Mo Salah was signing for them, perhaps not believable. And the side of his head, disproportionate to his body, also unbelievable. So Mo Salah signing for West Adelaide. Modbury Jets announced that they were changing their logo from the Modbury Jets to the Modbury Kittens. That's the most ferocious looking kitten I've ever seen. Gan United announced that Jurgen Klopp had signed on the dotted line to become their new manager. And it didn't stop, did it? The major club announcement from the Cove, of course, was that they were going to be joining the A-League. That was announced this morning. And then Mount Barker, but was this actually an April Fool or is this a real thing? Because Mount Barker have two mascots, and one of them was going to be called Mount the Cow. So I'm hoping this was an April Fool and not a real thing. Maybe Alessio can give us a bit more. But this one at the end was my favourite. If you know your Italian football, for Salisbury Inter to announce that they were changing their colours to red and black, going from Inter Milan to AC Milan. It's like, for me, it's like a Rangers Celtic thing, isn't it? It takes some audacity to do that. Almost like Mount Barker starting to wear Adelaide Hills Hawks shirts at the start of this year. It's something that was my favourite one anyway, because I thought that took a little bit of whatever the adjective is, courage. I think maybe to say you were going to change your kit to wear that of probably your greatest rivals. So that was my pick of the week. Alessio, did you want to expand on that, whether that's an April Fool or actually a real mascot? I mean, if it's an April Fool, it's a good one because they have me fooled. I'm curious.
Yeah, no, they've actually done some pretty similar ones that you would not know if they are. And I think last year there was going to be a Tottenham Academy, and they were going to have the second pitch that was actually in the master plan for the Mount Barker Summit Sports Complex as where that training was going to be. So it was kind of weird because that was actually envisaged to have another pitch there across. But no, I don't think the mascot will be that. We still don't have a name, I guess, to go back to either. I did mention to the people on the socials who did that we should be called the Mount Barker Bulls and go back to the red and black colours and adopt a Chicago Bulls kind of vibe. Even have a white and red away kit would be nice. But yeah, I don't think it's real. But one that was real, a mascot, which I saw in the weekend in my game at White City FK Beograd, I think it's a warrior, the White City Warrior, maybe.
Yep.
I think is what it is.
It was. Yeah, remember he got released years ago.
Yeah, so obviously, I don't know, is it still could be the FK Beograd Warrior, or do they have to be another military position that starts with a B, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, I thought it was great to see that mascot walk out with the kids. I think it was at pre-game and also at halftime, I think, too. I think it's a female as well in the costume. And Yeah, well, I think it was really cool. I'm pretty sure it was her in the club rooms after that was talking to the chairman there, FK Grad, saying that, oh yeah, we had it out. A lot of the kids loved it. Should we do it again? And he said, yeah, if it works, and it looked like it got a buzz, so we should do it again. So I thought that was pretty cool. I guess my other pick of this week was the remaining World Cup qualification games. I had a few I had my eye on, none specific that I was looking at. I mean, I was looking at obviously the Kosovo-Turkey game to see who the Socceroos would play in the game I'm going to in Canada. And I was happy that Turkey won that one. And of course, the big one that's gone around everywhere is Italy losing to Bosnia and Herzegovina, and missing out on the World Cup for the third year in a row. I don't think it was unexpected. I think many people probably would have seen that they were in the qualification phase again, and this one and not automatic one, and thought, oh, here we go again. I think the players thought the same, and probably the fans thought the same too. I mean, in my opinion, I don't think they're good enough to make the World Cup. No matter how many teams, they're not good enough in their region to make the World Cup. No matter if those added teams or not, I think there's plenty of teams better than them in Europe.
Absolutely. Good to see. I'm a big fan. I'll continue on with the international football theme. Of course, the Socceroos and the young Socceroos played last night. Amlani Tatu getting on the score sheet for them, and Nestor Irankunda coming off the bench, scoring a brace, and pulling out one of the most extravagant celebrations in terms of planning I think I've seen. It took him a while to get the glove on to pull out the Michael Jackson moves, but it was very, very good to see, and I'm sure and hoping to see a lot more at the World Cup. But a lot of planning. I don't know if teams will be able to, plan that sort of thing here. I'd like to see it. If anybody in the NPL is able to plan a celebration like that, please go for it. We'd love to see it. But no, very good to see. And also Adwan Mabil returning to starting for the Socceroos as well, and he scoring as well. Riley McGree getting the assist. A lot of South Australian injection, especially with those substitutes once they came on to give them a 5-1 win over World Cup opponents. Well, not direct, but in Curacao as well. So, yeah, good to see for them. Mark, finally to you.
I'll keep it local. There's finally some direction or announcement from Metro Stars. There was a lot of talk about Danny Greystone no longer being the head coach at Metro Stars and technical director. They came out over the weekend. I think it was on Friday last week. They announced it, or was it Monday?
There's the dates. I don't know which day they were.
The North East Metro Stars and Negros have mutually agreed to conclude Danny's tenure as head coach, and they've also announced Adam Van Dommel as the senior coach for the remainder of the season. So they've finally put that the whole scenario to bed. The club have come out and obviously announced everything now. So we don't know what's gone on. There's lots of stories. We don't know the truth. The only people that need to know that are the ones that involved. So clubs come out, stated it. Danny Greystone has also announced that he's concluded his role as head coach and technical director at Metro Stars by mutual agreement. Proud of the work that we did in building a strong competitive environment and the progress achieved during his time at the club. Thank you to the players, staff members and supporters for their support throughout. And he looks forward to whatever next challenge lays ahead. So that's all now done with, and I'm sure that it probably it helps Metro obviously now just move on and continue their season.
And so absolutely.
Maybe you'll get into match commentary. Join us in the podcast or something.
Can only but ask.
Before we do move on, I will just add as well, as we are live tonight on Wednesday, there are 3 games which will be going while we're recording. So just to put on record our predictions so they don't come out tomorrow and people think we've changed, because I know you don't remember it, so I'll list them all off. Sturt versus Mowbray Jets are playing tonight in the WMPL WSL Cup. I said 2-1 after extra time. Alessio said 4-2, both to Sturt. 3-0 to Sturt the way for David, and then 4-1 to Sturt for Mark. Then in the Australia Cup, Tea Tree Gully play Gula Eagles tonight. We have all gone Tea Tree Gully in that one. 3-1 for me, 3-0 for Alessio, 2-1 for David, and 3-2 to Mark. That one kicking off in 14 minutes' time, to be exact. And then Adelaide Comets and Adelaide Uni MPL versus State League 2. me and you, Alessio, have both gone. Me and you, David, have both gone Comets. I said 1-0. You said 2-1. Alessio and Mark have said Adelaide Uni. Alessio, you said 3-2 after extra time, and Mark, you said 2-1 in 90. So just to put those on record before they do go out tomorrow, and people think that we've pre-predicted them, and some of us might be wrong. We might be completely wrong with all of them. But yeah, just to make sure of those sorts of things coming out and everything. Oh, that's the door. What good timing as always.
Shall I get the door this week?
I think you
That's 2
should
weeks
get the
in- I
door
think
this
that's 2
week.
weeks in a row for me. Bear with me 1 second.
Yeah, you got a busy household, clearly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's always the case. All right, tonight we are joined by Adelaide Cobras head coach Tony Galanopoulos and club captain Andreas Panayi.
Thank
Thanks for having
you.
us, guys.
No, thank you both for joining us. It's a pleasure to have the both of you with us for this evening. I'll start off the questioning nice and easy before we move on to the other three. Tell us about your playing and coaching journeys, obviously for either one of you, from up until your junior up until now. Andreas, we'll start with you. Not too much, I can imagine, to really say that we don't know.
Pretty short. I started obviously as a junior at the club since I was 3.5 years old. So now I'm 23. So one club boy.
Probably the shortest journey we think we've ever had on this show. Tony, for you?
Myself as a head coach you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. My coaching career started from juniors through my kids from under 5, 7, 8, 9. Then I went through Adelaide Comets I went through 13s, 14s, 3 years under 18s at Comets. Then I went as the first team assistant coach for 5 years at Adelaide Comets. From there, I went to Fulham United for 3 years as a head coach with Arthur Luciano. Looking forward to see them in a couple of weeks. Great club. And from there, I went to support Jim Tekin as an assistant coach at West Adelaide. And for a short period of time, the rest is history. And then I joined Para Hills in the same year with Eunice, a personal friend. We had a great year. And then I took as a head coach at Para Hills for 5 months. And from then on, I left and I joined Cobras. Start of the last 5 games of the season in 2025. We survived the season, and this year I'm leading the team or the club as the head coach of Cobras, Adelaide Cobras. So there you are.
Thank you so much. I'll go to David because, David, you got to watch them play on the weekend, so you can continue on with the actual match talk from the weekend.
I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, I decided that I would wife permitting, and she was very accommodating with that. She likes to see me out on a Saturday afternoon and doesn't like to see me again till, well, as long as possible. So I was at Adelaide City in the afternoon and then decided I would try and get down to Adelaide Cobras. They were playing Croatia Raiders in what was the top of the table clash. Big game for Cobras, and I guess, getting there, looking out onto the pitch, it was the first time I've been at that ground in a long time, and it didn't go your way, fellas. So I guess I was going to ask you about, how you felt. I'll go with you, Tony. You're the coach. I'll go with you first. How you felt that the game went? Do you think you played poorly compared to in previous weeks? Because I hadn't seen you play up until that point. I mean, I thought Croatia Raiders were very good, especially at the back. But I just wondered what your view of your performance that night was.
Unfortunately, mentally we were not there 100%. Raiders were far more focused and mentally ready to take us on. And as I said to the boys, it's not so much about tactics, it's about the mindset. It's so important, the psychology of every player to be ready mentally to win every ball, to put the ball in the line, to fight for every ball. And we didn't have that on that night for such a big occasion. And Raiders scored on top of us. And that's the end of the story. You can't really change that. So that's how I started as a coach.
And from a playing perspective, Andreas, how did you feel it went? Same sort of idea or anything different to that?
Yeah, look, it was obviously disappointing with the result of what would have been a great opportunity, as you mentioned, top of the table clash to sort of extend that gap at the top. I think Tony summed it up, and we've been reviewing it all this week. I think the game was sort of lost on our behalf in terms of the second balls, like the want to will, and felt like every time we won a challenge, there was red shirts everywhere, and yeah. Like I said, we've reviewed that, and I know the boys are disappointing, they're hurting, but what's a short turnaround? We get to go again tomorrow night.
Yeah, so what is it, a cup game? You've got Fulham next, but that's not tomorrow night. That's
Cup game tomorrow night, Western Strikers, yeah.
Yeah. So you'll be looking to bounce back at that one. And Fulham's your next
100%.
league opponent. You'll be looking to make amends there as well.
Absolutely. We know Fulham. Tony's been there previously. Very young side, well drilled, well coached. But we're so are we. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, it's a great opportunity. I think we're playing away, so we'll go out there with our heads held high and hope to get the result.
Cool. I wasn't expecting to ask questions first, Seb. It's not in the right order for me. Someone else want to go?
I'll go on next to Mark.
Good evening, fellas. Thanks for joining us. I'll start with you, Tony. You've got plenty of coaching experience at different clubs and different roles at clubs. My question more aimed at the previous season and Para Hills. I want to know how you found that experience. You obviously left part of the way through the season, and it was obviously, I don't know the reasons behind it, but maybe you can shed some light on that. It was a tough season, obviously, for Para Hills in general, staying up on the last day. But how did you find that experience? And were you worried that, when you left there, were you worried about what the next gig was going to be, or you just sort of let it go and wait? And then did Cobras approach you, or was it something you went out and was seeking? Because obviously you went into Cobras quite late in the season.
In the first instance, Para Hills, it's a great club. It's got a lot of history, and it was a privilege to coach him for the period that I did. As I said, in the first year, I assisted with Theo Tuners, and then they gave me the opportunity to coach him. Pre-season, we didn't do really well. We lost a lot of games. When the season started, out of the first 3 games, we picked up 4 points. We had a big loss against Playford in the first game against Bacala. Then we lost 8-1 to Playford. But then I turned things around with the team, and we beat Modbury 1-0. And on Monday, I was asked, not longer required. Now, to go into the details, personally, you can talk to the president at Para Hills about it, because on my behalf, as a head coach, I gave 150% from November to the last day that I was there against Modbury. I didn't miss one training session, whether it was 45 degrees, whether it was 20 degrees, whether it was wet, whether it was dry. I was committed, as I always do, 150% commitment. I did my best to my capability with my coaching team. The rest I can't judge. I can only say that I gave my best. Leaving Para Hills, when I was asked that I was no longer required there, for their reasons, which you can discuss further if you want, the president. On my behalf, no, I had coached I've been involved in football for 18 years as a coach, and I never had a break. At Comets, or 20 years. At Comets, I was there for 18 years, from 7 days a week, non-stop. So it was a big relief to actually have a bit of time to myself. I didn't know what to do, really, to be honest with you. Even though I've got a lot of activities outside of work. Was I missing it? No, it just took me a lot of time to adjust, from a sense of, I've got free time for the first time in almost 20 years. It's incredible feeling. I got approached by Cobras, and I wasn't looking for anything else. And some coaching colleagues and friends that said, I could have joined them. I just didn't want to. I wasn't interested. It was very weird. Just the sensation, the feeling of not being able to coach, after all these years. The most important thing is Cobras gave me a call. I met. They were in a very desperate situation at the time. We turned things around. And from then on, we haven't looked back. It's as simple as that. So it's a great club. I always want to coach at Cobras, I'll be honest with you. It's a fantastic community club. Great committee, the president, Simon Panayi, Paul Sotirio, the vice president, the committee, the people there. It's just an amazing club to be involved. And they have the opportunity, or we have the opportunity for bigger and better things. Very well organized and very passionate. So I could have asked for anything more.
I mean, no, I was going to say you haven't. You certainly can't look back. I mean, when you look at it, I mean, you're now sitting top of the table. One loss in the first 5 games. It's been a great start. I mean, a lot of us had you sort of lower down table. We weren't sure what to expect from you guys this year, and so far you've proved everyone wrong. So it was a great decision by the club to bring you in, and you've just taken to effectively like a duck to water, really, and just led the team into, like I said, an absolute great start. Andreas, for yourself, obviously a new coach coming in at the back end of the season to try and help you guys stay up. Now taking over the reins, getting a full pre-season. You've been, as you said, you've been at the club for a long time, since you were 3. How does it feel to be able to have someone like Tony come in, get you guys off to this start? Because obviously it hasn't been like this for obviously last season. It wasn't as good as what it is at the moment. So how does it feel for yourself? Obviously, like I said, one was being announced club captain. Obviously, that must be a great honour. And then obviously having someone like Tony come in and being able to guide this ship for you guys.
Yeah, obviously, for Tony to come in at the back end of last year, he summed it up. I feel like the Cobras were for the past few years. We always had a sort of good squad. I felt like we lacked that sort of alpha coach to come in and set some standards and lay some discipline down for players to really follow. So I feel like we had at the start of last year, the club sort of took a different direction. Sort of offloaded a few of the older players and sort of kept a really young squad. We wanted to be young. We wanted to be energetic with a younger coach, obviously, in Matt Prodanovsky. And I think it's fair to say it didn't really work out in the end. And the club, we were in a desperate situation because I feel like our community deserves to be in this league competing. So for Tony to come in and he straight away, he sort of came in, shaking things up, and the boys really acclimatized to that and really adapted to that, and we found ourselves picking up points towards the back end of the year. Coming into this season, I think what you can expect from us and from Tony is a disciplined side, really energetic. We've recruited really well, and Tony's really laid some ground rules for us in terms of our discipline, but also to be able to be free and express ourselves. So for me, being at this club for a long time, my goal, and I've said that ever since I was a young kid, is to go play NPL with my club. Do you know what I mean? So for me, my father played for the club. I've had a lot of family that played for the club, and I really want to see my club in the top flight. So I think the steps taken by the club to sort of bring Tony in, someone who's very well experienced, who knows what he's talking about, I think we're going in the right direction for sure.
Oh, you certainly are. And as you mentioned there about the new signings and that, and as club captain, how do you go about integrating them into your team, into your group of players? Like you said, you've kept the core squad from last year. How do you then go about integrating them? And also, has the club upgrades? Obviously, I played at Cobras many years ago when it was still the horse trotting track around it. It was an absolute bog in winter. The pitch now is fabulous. I've been there with my juniors. It's a fabulous pitch, fabulous setup in general. Does those upgrades, and does that obviously then help with integrating new players and attracting those players?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's a credit to the club and the community. Like Tony said, it's one of the best community clubs alongside your Raiders and your FK Belgrade. In terms of, I know Johnny Keko did Volunteer of the Week the other day, and one of the old grandparents who comes and cooks on the barbecue was tearing up, talking about his grandchildren playing. So I think it's a credit to the club that really stuck together through the hard times. There was a few years where we were slugging it out at Port Pirie away, and playing with a horse track around and stuff like that. So I know we've definitely come a long way. I think in terms of integrating new players, the facilities does play a major part, but I think it's sort of a credit to the club. We've tried to, not deviate from our own morals and ethics, and it's been real easy to integrate new players that come from, obviously this year, a few players that come from a different country, and new players that come from different clubs to be able to fit in straight away. They love it. So
that's great to hear. I'll stop asking the harder questions. I'll let the guys have some fun now.
Alessio, to you.
Yeah, I'll start with Andreas first. A bit more of a serious one, I guess. I thought about it the last week, a couple of weeks ago, when we had Anthony Trimboli on. But one that I thought was, what was the turning point in your career at Cobras as a senior player that you really found out that you were ready for this level? You were going to be a consistent starter week in, week out. And it might not have just been that you got your start. It was maybe a game you remember, scored a couple goals, kept your position for a number of weeks. Do you remember like a turning point in your career so far at Cobras where you really knew that you were a solid, consistent player that's going to be playing and starting most of the games during the year?
I think reflecting on my own personal experience, I think coming through the senior ranks, I was always, or through the junior ranks into the senior ranks, I was always a midfielder. And I know it was pretty hard to break into a senior squad, a senior team being in the midfield. So I sort of had to mold and adapt and change the way I play to kind of, get my first look in. Now that obviously I'm a little bit more experienced and stuff like that, I've come back and settled more into the midfield. But I think if I could name a few, one of my first senior coach, John Felitis, sort of helped mold me and change me into a different sort of player. And I think when we first got into the State League One, Robbie DeTroyer, I think was massive for me, bringing in obviously plenty of experience around me. And he kept it short and sharp with me. And he sort of said, go out there and express yourself. I was playing left wing that year where we almost got promoted, and I was playing left wing and I was scoring goals here and there. And there was no pressure on me. Do you know what I mean? There was so much experience around me that sort of guided me and molded me and shaped me into the player that I am today. So I feel like if I was to think about a turning point, it would probably be that year under Robbie, where I had Louis next to me, always in my ear, and helping, just letting me go through the flow and experience football for what it really is.
Yeah, awesome. Another question I had as well for you, Andreas, was, of course, you've played at Cobras throughout a lot of different league editions, new clubs, new venues, that kind of thing. What's an interesting venue that many people might not have played at that you remember playing at in your time at Cobras in the senior setup or reserves 18s as well? Because I know you were there when the State League 2 came back in. I think it was 2016 or 17 when they came back in with some more teams and changed it around, and maybe some interesting venues that you played at so far.
I think one that comes to mind is definitely Port Pirie away. I think that's a no-brainer. You think that it's not that big of a deal. You just go up there and play football. But when you go up there, after such a long drive or on a team bus and stuff, you feel like you got no energy and you just got to slug it out for 90 minutes. I think another one that comes to my mind was when Modbury Vista, just a quick story, Modbury Vista, when they were renovating their club rooms, we sort of had a pre-season game at night, and they never really had, we had to change in this like little caravan, and there were no lights in there, so we had to put little candles on while we were doing our team talk and stuff like that. So I know it's pretty crazy. So that one there definitely sticks out. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I remember seeing a picture of you at Cornerstone College when Mount Barker played there at the school pitch there, down sunken into the thing. I thought that would have been one that you might have brought up.
Yeah.
My last question as well would just be the one I classic do to most players and coaches: the best player you've played with or against in your time so far.
Best player I played with, probably Louis DeTroyer. And played against, it's a difficult one. Played against a few good players. You have to come back to me on that one. I'll give you an answer at the end. Can't think of one off the top of my head.
I'll go to Tony now. Of course, you mentioned that you assisted and being an assistant coach other points in your career as well. What was the real transition for you from moving from an assistant to a lead head coach? Did you still take the trainings now as a head coach, or did you take them as an assistant and now you delegate that to your assistant? What's the differences that you've found so far?
to me, the most important thing, obviously, as an assistant, you assist the first team coach, and he's responsible really for the team. You have your input, but obviously, final decisions made by the first team coach. Currently, or we are set at Cobras, and what I believe as a head coach, I like to involve all my coaching staff in the training sessions. They take the sessions. I'm involved because it's very important. I empower them to be part of the coaching team. And having Enzo, which has been at the club for many years, Sepp as well for many years, and Zeno, the head goalkeeper coach, and also Nicola, the conditioning coach. It's a very good team, and we work methodically as coaching staff. Obviously, I'll make the decisions, but involve them in every aspect of coaching, and also allow them to be expressive in their views. That's very, very important. That's how I see it, and that's how over the years I've worked with other head coaches. I've worked with a lot of head coaches at Comets when I was there for 5 or 6 years as an assistant coach. So it gave me plenty of experience to sort of see how the system works and what's really the best way to go about it. I also involve assistant coaches in every aspect of the training sessions and decision making.
Yeah, awesome. And the second question I got for you, just your happiest moment or most fulfilling moment you've had as a coach so far that you kind of went, wow, it's all worth it, that just for that moment there, or if you might not have had it yet and you're still waiting for it.
As a head coach,
Tony, you're just cutting in and out a little bit. I don't know if you've wandered too far away from your router. Are you able to just walk a wee bit closer to your router? You're just cutting in and out a bit.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I think that's better. Yeah. Thanks.
When I was involved, obviously, with Comets for so many years, being really on the bottom, we brought the club to the highest level after 18 years to be extremely competitive. It was an amazing feeling when we won the FA Cup, and I was part of it. And obviously, finishing on top of the NPL league for a few seasons, to be very competitive. There was massive games with Campbelltown and Metro Stars. So that was one aspect as an assistant coach. But as a head coach with Fulham, in the second year we made the finals. We had a team, the lads were, if there were not anyone with big names, we had really hardworking players, and after the first year we just escaped relegation. Unfortunately, Cobras went down the first year. The second year we made the finals, and it was an amazing feeling. The third year we didn't make the finals, but to me that was the pinnacle, just to take a club out of nowhere to make the finals and set the tone. Now obviously going from strength to strength with the Salacino, and it's fantastic to see them growing. So there were the two moments. And assistant coach, obviously, with Adelaide Comets, being involved for many years to see the club, thriving, and obviously with Fulham, also, be cementing themselves in State 1, and having the opportunity down the track to go to NPL level. Most importantly, also got to say, with the Cobras last year, not getting relegated and being able to turn the team around in 5 games, that was an extremely, very, very, very satisfactory for my behalf to empower the players, because it was more the mindset again to turn them around and they're winners, because they were really bashed mentally. So it wasn't even about football, it was about being able to empower them to be expressive and enjoy the game. So that was another pivot or turning point as a head coach, to be able to empower my players and obviously the club saw this prospect to for bigger things. So it's a fantastic feeling. So those are the 3 events I've experienced, let alone junior level, having young players coming through and immerse them, very talented players, which now they're playing professionally, but you've immersed them in an environment where they can excel as players and give them the tools for them to go at a professional level. Of working with professional coaches, because in the day I'm not a professional coach, I'm a coach at an amateur level. Like, I'm not a full-time coach. So that's to me seeing young players developing into better players, give them the opportunity to become better players, and become professional, and and also some of them actually play for Australia. It's an amazing feeling, but just giving them that the from the football sense, they were very talented, but just the training and the ability for them to excel and go to the next stage in their careers, it's unbelievable. So I've experienced it from the juniors to the seniors.
Nice, thanks. That's all from me.
Perfect. David, I'll go to you.
Well, we'll just do our quick fire question round now, Seb.
Oh, that was very quick.
David Grant, Chris Production.
So, guests, at the end of our little chat, I do a quick fire questions section. It's 10 questions. I'll ask them within a minute. You've got to see how many you can get through. I think, Tony, will get you to go first. Fairly straightforward. It's just a series of questions and you just give me your answers as quickly as you can. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, Tony, you ready? The timer will start.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. Hey, Tony, what's your favourite ground or venue across South Australia to coach at?
Adelaide Comets.
What's the most rewarding thing about coaching for you?
Developing young players into better players.
Which team in State League 1 is the only one to yet lose a game?
State 1 hasn't lost a game.
They haven't lost a game
No one.
yet. One team. Modbury Jets.
One team has lost. Modbury Jets. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, you guys are going to win promotion to the NPL, of course, at the end of this year. Which team, along with you, will get promoted? Do you think?
I think Raiders.
Raiders. Okay, and one last one. Who was your football hero as you were growing up?
That would have been Ian. Not Ian. What's the name from Liverpool? In the 70s, when I was growing up overseas for Liverpool. Ian Rush.
Ian Rush.
Amazing player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was.
Used to bang those goals.
I actually saw him a couple of times in the flesh playing at his peak. He was amazing. I saw him. He scored against Scotland at for Wales in probably a World Cup qualifier in the mid '80s. He was awesome. So Tony, you managed to answer 5 there. One of which was that you've tipped Raiders to be the other team that gets promoted with you at the end of the year. So we'll make a note of that, and at the end of the year we'll see where Raiders finish up. Right, Andreas, are you ready for your questions?
I'm ready.
Okay, Seb, timer.
3, 2, 1.
Andreas, what's your favourite ground to play at?
FK Belgrade.
Which teammate owes you money?
Chris Ashwood.
Okay, write that down. Which teammate is always late?
Pedro.
Which teammate adores himself?
Nick Harpers, definitely.
Okay. Cobras won the round 1 game against Adelaide Atletico 2-1. Who scored your 2 goals that day?
Nick Harpers, penalty. Gus Williams.
Well done. True or false, when Filmer Ubaneza scored against you for Croatia Raiders at the weekend, it was the first time Cobras had conceded a second half goal this season?
True.
It is true, well done. What's your pre-match go-to tune?
I'm feeling it, Sunset Bros.
Okay, and last question. What was the last thing you searched on Google? And be honest.
Let me have a look. I reckon it was the Adelaide Crows team selection.
Okay. Well, in terms of answering most questions tonight, Andreas, you are our winner this week. Although you did leave us hanging with one of Alessio's questions, which was the best player you played against. You said you needed some time to think about that. Have you had enough time to think about that and you have an answer?
Elvis Kamsoba.
Okay.
Couldn't touch him.
Good pick.
Really?
Couldn't get near it.
That concludes my quickfire quiz for this week, Seb. The winner this week is Andreas. And I apologise, I pronounced your name incorrectly in the past. I call you Panayi or something, did I? It's Panayi. I won't make that mistake again.
Thanks for that. Now my boys make fun of me. All good.
Thank you for that, David. Thank you to the both of you as well for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Good luck for your cup game tomorrow night, and good luck for the rest of the season. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you,
Thanks
guys.
for having us, guys. Thank you.
Great chat with the both of them. We will go on to... getting comfy, Alessio, okay. We'll go on to State League 2, the results from the past weekend. In the north, Port Adelaide beating Anglevale 1-0. Barossa 3-0 losers against Salisbury Inter. Pontian, 3-2 over Gawler Eagles. Northern Demons Elizabeth Downs having a 2-2 draw. Modbury Vista getting a 3-2 win over Elizabeth Grove. And then in the south, Adelaide Union Olunga having a 0-0 draw. At Plimpton, a 3-2 loss, well, I should say at Jack Smith Park. Plimpton home game, a 3-2 loss to Adelaide Titans. Adelaide Hills Hawks, 2-1 losers at home to Seaford. Mount Barker also at home in the Hills, 3-0 loss against Vipers. And then Garn United, which we all predicted against, they won 1-0 against Western Strikers. Alessio, I'll start with you.
Yes, thanks, Seb. I'll start off with a couple in the north and then obviously do Mount Barker and maybe another one in the south. Some major results. One of our favourite listeners, George Katsianis, a hat-trick for Pontian Eagles there in the Eagle Derby there against Gawler. And I know the last one as well was a free kick, but a goal in the 91st and 96th to equalise and then win. He's on a massive run there for Pontian, who are equal top of the State League 2 North, so they're going well. A first win of the season for last year's North Premiers in Modbury Vista, and they came back from 2-0 down in the first 10 minutes as well. So a good win there for Nigel Gill and some of the players there as well. I know another avid listener there, Ben Toffoli, was praying that they finally got the victory there, and maybe it would have been a double one with the women's as well, but unfortunately they lost. We'll talk about them later. Of course, in the south, let me just get it up. Mount Barker fell to a 3-0 loss against Vipers, who are a very good attacking side, but I think they were just missing a leading marksman the whole day, and then they brought him on with about 20 minutes to go, and he scored 2 in Riak Mayol. Also, a funny... it's funny as a spectator and against my team, but a red card there for Stefan Dodoni both times for arguing with the linesman. And it was in between a second and third goal they scored. I mean, the first one, I think he either was unhappy with the lino's decision for a throw-in, and then after they scored their second goal, he turned around to the lino and said, "Did you effing see that one? Couldn't call that one off." And then he got a second yellow and sent There's actually a couple others that I saw around the leagues, and maybe I'll let Mark or David talk about the Hills versus Seaford game, but it was one in that game as well where a couple minutes from half time, 2 yellows to Harry Applin just before they score a second goal in a quick succession. But what's the other? I'll talk about the Adelaide Uni one. 0-0 draw on Friday night at the Adelaide Uni grounds. Apparently, it was a very tough game. I think it was just before the weather started getting colder again, but it was still very windy, of course, there, and a very difficult game. Apparently, there was quite a lot of fouls, somehow no bookings, and it was a good point for Noarlunga for sure. But for Adelaide Uni, it was one they probably expected to win.
We'll go to Mark next.
Awesome. Now, what games did you cover, Alessio? In and all, what do we got here? South, Garn. Big win for Garn. Obviously, that kicks off their season because they'd lost their 2 first games. So, big win for Garn over a Strikers side who I think we all predicted to be up there or thereabouts, looking to play finals at the end of the year. So a goal in the 57th minute there from Naziri to make it a very simple 1-0 win there. As you mentioned, Seaford got the win over Hawks. Harry, I know H very well, and 2 quick successions. And when we say quick succession, 43rd and 46th for the two bookings. So 3 minutes in between. The winning goal come in the 47th minute by their new signing in Fahad Jassim, who stepped across from Cove in the off season. So Seaford now 2 wins. Hills Hawks without a win at all. Actually, they don't even have a point yet. Did you cover the Titans?
No.
Good. I'll jump on that one. I wouldn't say a surprising result, but Titans did have to fight back. They went 1-0 down, got back to 1-1. Then it went 2-1 up, and then young Phoenix Hamdorf, who actually used to play for Noarlunga, scored an equaliser in the 64th, and then Titans getting the winner in the 70th minute. So not an easy day out for Titans, who have now gone 3 from 3. Plimpton still waiting for their first win. I think that might have been a game they would have thought they could have got something out of when they'd gotten at least a 2-2 Jumping across to the north. I'm going to jump on this one. Northern Demons, Elizabeth Downs. I got in trouble last week for not mentioning the Downs, but for not mentioning the Demons. But they went 1-0 up. Downs equalised to make it 1-1. And just quietly, Ben Scanclapour is, I think, in red hot form. He scored another 2 on the weekend for Demons. So I think he's got a few goals already this year. Downs scoring in the 92nd minute to equalise after Kaylin White was sent off for Demons in the 76th minute. So I'm wondering if the 11-man advantage ended up proving to be enough. Salisbury Inter getting a 3-0 win over Barossa, who also they've got 1 point. They've got their draw, but they're still waiting for that elusive win. Salisbury Inter Tosca scoring another send-off in that game as well. Marcus Marchiora getting sent off, first booking in the 52nd, followed by second in the 63rd minute. Also, Daniel Banjak was sent off for Barossa in the 58th minute. So a couple of red cards in that one. And then the ever young, I'll call him the Silver Fox now because he's starting to get some silvers. Matthew Marchiora, he won't mind me saying that. Absolute legend that he is, scoring again for Inter to make it 3-0. So doing what he does and scores goals from centre back for the fun basically. And that's Port Adelaide Port Adelaide against Angle Vale. They played on the Friday night out at Taparoo Reserve. They got their first, I think that's their first win of the season under head coach Terry Westwood. So big win there, and that goal coming in the 21st minute. So Angle Vale, they've got their one win as well. They've got their season off. Port finally got their season kicked off as well, and they're both sort of sitting in 7th and 8th position. I think that's probably all of State League 2.
David doesn't even need to say a thing.
Well, I don't, but I've just got a little thing that I noted down when I was commentating on my match at the weekend, because I was at Adelaide City and Comets in the NPL. Before the game started, three senior men's teams had not scored a goal this season yet. That was Comets, Gawler Eagles and Gan United. Well, Comets scored at the weekend and Gan United scored at the weekend. So Gawler Eagles, the only senior men's team yet to score, although they have played 3 rounds, whereas NPL have played 5-ish. So come on, Gawler, get the ball in the back of the net.
They did score.
Yeah, they scored 2.
Gawler.
They scored twice.
All 3 teams scored on the weekend.
Yeah, all 3 of them scored.
Well done, Gawler. We're all off the...
We'll
Quick encouragement.
Wow,
have
that
to
turned around quickly.
That is their only.
Moving on.
That is their
redo that
first 3 goals.
stat to the. Yeah, redo that stat to the only teams without a point. Maybe we can get them.
Yeah, they're seeing that one.
My apologies to you, Gawler. I thought you guys hadn't scored at the weekend, and going in, Comets in the NPL, Gan and Gawler were the 3 teams that hadn't scored, and I see it now. You did get 2. I'm dreadfully sorry. Apologies.
We'll go on to the WSL. Cove and Elizabeth Grove having a 1-1 draw. South Adelaide losing 4-1 to Adelaide Jaguars. Adelaide City with a 5-1 win over Western Strikers. And Sturt Lions 4-0 over Modbury Jets. Of course, that match being played in half an hour's time in the Cup, David.
Yes, but we're talking about WSL just now?
Yes.
Not the Cup, right? Wow.
No, I was just saying that the Sturt and Modbury are playing each other in half an hour again.
Yeah, got you. So a big win for Sturt at the top of the table. They are winning 4-0 over Modbury Jets. Still to lose a game. They have drawn one. They drew 2 weeks ago against Elizabeth Grove, but still on a roll. 4 different scorers in that match as well. Adelaide City winning their game 5-1. Sasaki got off the scorer onto the scoring chart, should I say, for Western Strikers. But in the end, Adelaide City too strong, really. I did have Paul Morris on commentary with me at the men's game after, and he talked a little bit about the game, and he didn't say it was a comfortable win, but I got the impression, 5-1 on there, and I think they hit the bar as well, so a good strong win for Adelaide City. Jaguars keeping pace though. They had a 4-1 win over South Adelaide. It keeps them in third on the same number of points as second place Adelaide City. Elizabeth Grove, as you mentioned, drawing with Cove. I think we thought Cove might have done a wee bit better this year in the WSL. They still only had the one win, which was back in round one. They've since had 3 draws and 1 draw and 3 losses since that victory in round one, which was against South Adelaide. South Adelaide, second bottom of the table. They face Adelaide City next week. That'll be this weekend, should I say? That'll be. It won't be this weekend because it's a long weekend. It must be.
Yeah, next weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, so a little bit of a break till they reassess. And Modbury Jets down at, they've got a chance maybe to pick up some points in their next game. They play Cove in what you could regard, I guess, as a 6-pointer. If Cove can get a win there, it'll take them up to 7 points. But if they don't, Modbury Jets, and even if South Adelaide win, Cove could end up bottom. So it's close, that WSL, partly because there's so few teams in it. There's only, 8 of them in it. And also because beneath fourth place down, there's only, sort of 5-6 points between third and there's only, I'll give you exactly 6 points between fourth and 8th. So it's a tight competition still.
Absolutely. We'll go on to State League 1. Cumberland having a 4-2 win over Eastern United. Adelaide Olympic 1-1 against Modbury Jets. Adelaide Blue Eagles also a 1-1 draw at Marden during the day. 1-1 draw against Adelaide Atletico. Fulham 6-1 over South Adelaide. Cove 2-0 over Salisbury. And then Adelaide Cobras at home for their first loss 3-0 against Adelaide Croatia Raiders, which, David, I think we might as well start with that one as you were there.
So as I mentioned earlier, I went along to watch, I went along to commentate on the State League 1 game down there at Weigel Oval, Paint Panel and whatever it is, the sponsorship name.
Pro Paint and Panel.
Great little atmosphere. What is it?
Pro Paint and Panel.
Thank you, Mark. I kept getting it wrong commentary. I couldn't remember what came first, Pro Paint or Panel. But there you go. Raiders went 1-0 up just around the 43rd minute. A Jai King Byrne header from an Oliver Zafaridas corner. They then went 2-0 up when Philemon Ubaneza latched onto a loose ball at the edge of the box and rifled home beyond the despairing reach of the goalkeeper Nicholas Harpus. And then one of the best goals I've seen, certainly at this level, Caelan Laird in the last minute of play, the 89th minute. A wayward pass, actually, which went straight to a Cobras player, but was picked up by young Caelan Laird. He'd only come on as a substitute 10-15 minutes earlier, and then he let fly from about 30 yards and went over to the corner to celebrate. A fantastic goal. Look, I was very impressed with Croatia Raiders. We're obviously quite familiar with them from last year. There's a few players still there that were there last year, and therefore it's a team we're sort of familiar with. I thought at the back they looked very strong. I think Cobras really struggled to break them down in that final third. It was interesting listening to what Tony and Andreas said earlier on tonight. They felt that mentally maybe the Cobras weren't there. But I think on the night, I think everyone agreed that Croatia Raiders were probably the better of the two teams. And Seb, I don't know if you've got that photograph. The people at Cobras were very helpful. At one stage, we had a little bit of an issue with the ladder blocking the view of the camera operator. And a lot of people complained about it online. But interesting enough, I mean, there's 15 minutes gone there, but that's probably around the time it was taken away. So one of the ground staff came over and removed that ladder while we were filming and commentating. But he then proceeded to take it down and sort of walk away with it. At stage, I wasn't sure what I was going to do at half time, if I needed to go to the toilet or anything like that. But luckily enough, he came back and he put it back up. But he didn't attach it, which made ascent and descent rather unnerving. So that's your roundup of certainly that one game. Did you want me to talk about any others?
If you want to.
Well, I mentioned before, obviously that was a top of the table clash. Those two teams that march on next week or into the next round to take on other opposition. But a win for Cove, a 2-0 win for Cove against Salisbury United, means that they've kind of snuck up a little bit on certainly on Cobras, who dropped those points. They now sit 2 points behind both Croatia Raiders and Cobras in first and second place, respectively. Modbury Jets are interesting. They haven't lost a game yet, as we mentioned earlier in David's quickfire quiz. But they have played one game less. They've only played the 4 games, but they've had 2 wins and 2 draws in that. And then the teams below that, Cumberland and Fulham. Cumberland having a 4-2 win over Eastern United, and Fulham having a massive 6-1 win over South Adelaide, which keeps the pressure on the top side. So up at the top, only Cobras lost a game in that top 6. Lucas Economopoulos, do you want this? I'm not sure what game that was you were showing. But just quickly through the Fulham scorers: Kanta Miniyuki, Michael Camacho, Lucas Economopoulos, Christian Borghetto, and then 2 off the bench: Joshua Brackey scored in the 88th minute and Luke Fusco in the 62nd minute. So a massive win for Fulham. Good for the goal difference, unfortunately for South Adelaide. A little bit of how do you
trouble?
Well, difficult for them. I'll leave it at
that. Alessio or Mark, anything that you want to touch on in particular?
You can go
I'll
first.
just talk about just a couple of the cracking goals. I mean, Luke Fusco's for Fulham United, former teammate of mine. We played at Sturt together, and I sent him a message during this week saying, it's the old Luke back. He always pulled out one or two of these a season, where he just cut in from the left and whipped it right into the top corner. And I think he also did at Gawler when he was there partway through 2024 as well. But I thought that was a ripper goal there, and really starting to find their stride, Fulham United now. And also in that Blue Eagles versus Atletico game, Cushion Dargenio's strike was beautiful. A volley into the near post there that was unsavable, and for Atletico a big point away, and for Adelaide Blue Eagles as well, finally a 90 minutes completed at home. And even though the weather was quite dull, they could still get away with it without lights. So good on them, and I'm sure for the players' sake, they're happy to put this kind of stop-start nature to their season behind them and actually be able to play a full 90 minutes out there. I know it's not up to them and nothing they can do, nor the coaching staff either. So I'm happy for them to finally have a full game there, and obviously they didn't lose either, so it's good for them.
Mark?
I'll just touch on the other game. So it was Cumberland played Eastern United. Eastern United starting to struggle a little bit. They got their first win of the season. They've kind of struggled, to be honest, since. They've 4 losses on the bounce now. They got off to a good start, 7 minutes in, but then it sort of went the way of Cumberland after that. Cumberland now starting to find their feet. Bit of an inconsistent start. They now got 2 wins on the bounce. Same with Fulham, and they jumped right up into those 5th and 6th spots on the table now. So, really good sort of comeback for Cumberland after, like I said, a bit of an inconsistent start alongside the likes of Fulham. I mentioned in the Sturt game, actually, I was talking about the lights at Blue Eagles because I was doing some around the grounds, and I mentioned that it was a 3 o'clock kickoff. So I actually said during the commentary that they'd be good. They'll get a full game this week, so they won't have any light issues. And I got a message from Gabs from Eastern United just with a laughing emoji saying that he was crying after I commentated on that. So apologies there. I think that's pretty much it. I think the rest of, surprisingly, when you look at the table, Blue Eagles are sitting now in 11th spot, only on 2 points. But then again, you got to remember that they've still got 2 games to catch up on. One obviously through unfortunate circumstance with an injury, but then the other one obviously their home lighting system seems to be on the blink, but or not on the blink, but almost on just the shut off. So normally a blink means it comes back on. So
on the eyes closed.
Yeah, exactly right. So I'll leave it at that. I won't talk about any of the other games, otherwise I'll get in trouble. So.
Just one thing I was going to mention actually about Fulham. Their captain Daniel Pritchard celebrated his 300th game.
Yes.
He didn't play the full game. Actually, came off after 66 minutes. But a special mention to him. Well done, congratulations.
Well, they didn't need him for the rest of the game. Probably they were 5-1 up by that stage.
With that, to keep Mark safe, you're going to continue?
I was just going to say, one thing we were talking about was red cards. It seemed to be an occurrence this week. It's hard enough going to Cove to play against Cove at Cove. It's a hard enough game as it is. And unfortunately, I saw Matt Gaston on Sunday. I didn't get a chance to talk to him in between the juniors changing over and things like that, and his team finishing and my team starting. But they had they had 2 players sent off. They had one in the 37th minute. Aaron Bannister getting a straight red card when JJ, I think it was JJ Wright. Here it is here. So it was Becker was on his way through and cleaned up there. So 37 minutes has still got obviously over half a game to play, makes it very difficult up there at the Cove. I said that Cove are hard to play up there with 11 players, and then they lost another player. They lost Anthony. When I say lost, Anthony Matosevic was also sent off very late in the game, in the 92nd minute. But by then the damage had already been done. So I said, you play against Cove up there, you certainly need to keep all 11 players on the park. So that's for sure. As JJ just causing issues there as well for Salisbury and Matosevic getting sent off as well. So quite as Alessio alluded to, there's been quite a number of red cards this week.
We will go on to the WMPL for round 4. Adelaide Union, Salisbury Inter playing out an entertaining 2-2 draw. Burkalla, 2-1 winners over Adelaide Comets. Football SA getting a 2-0 win over Flinders Vista at their first ever WMPL game up at Mowbray Vista, losing against Metro Stars for their first win of the season, 2-1. And then West Adelaide with a 3-1 win over Campbelltown in their first rematch since that final series. David, I'll start off with you at Burke's on Friday night.
Yes, a little visit for me down to Jack Smith Park, my first of this year. Thankfully, the AI cameras are still out of action. I believe they've got ones in, but they haven't been installed yet.
Oh no, what a shame.
Yeah, absolutely shocking. As Passia John from Croydon will attest. Anyway, focus, David. So down to West Orange Burkalla's game down here against the visiting Comet side. West Orange Burkalla have only won this fixture once in the and that was back in the 2024 final series, a 2-1 win at Service FM, and Mariah Applin scored 2 and Hazelwood scored 1 for Comets. But other than that, it's really been Comets that have dominated this, certainly in the home and away league season. And last year Comets had won both these games. West Orange Burkalla, I felt probably played the better of 2. Comets have had a bit of a false start. I think this year they are down in 6 after this loss. They'll be disappointed, I suppose, with that. They would be wanting to be a bit higher up the table. At this time, we're only 4 games in, but you want to be a wee bit higher up the table. Consolation goal really from Anastasia Willoughby at the end. That was all that was. Yeah, it was scored in the 91st minute. Seb, I don't know if were you happy to play my little piece of commentary? I was very proud of this moment.
I'm more than happy to play it.
I'll just get a little bit of background information for you. When I was at school, I learnt German. I studied German, and it was the only subject I was actually any good at. That and maybe PE and maybe drama. But certainly German was the only academic, if you can call it that, subject I was okay at. I got A's for German. In fact, I got A's for German, but I only got C's and B's for my English. So you could argue that my German was better than my English.
It's because I couldn't understand your English, mate.
I've been waiting for a German player to score a goal here, and my moment came and said, please play the commentary now for me. Mills leaves it to Lena Vogelsang. Vogelsang on the ball, turns and shoots, and it's gone in. Sehr gut gespielt in eine große Target des Fußballtor for Lena Vogelsang. I've been dying to say that for a while. It's 2-0 now. She's put them 2-0 up on the One World LED and Sportal scoreboard. Probably about 12-13 minutes to go. And a fine goal, fine finish. And Vogelsang gets her 4th for the season. I think the most ironic thing is I struggled to say her name after having rattled that out. But I was just you can hear my voice. I'm quite.
I would say, well, the funny thing is, it's very, very cool. But I think you ruin it when you go, "Oh, I've waited so long to say that. I'm so excited." just leave it. Just leave.
Yeah, I know. I should have. Well, it's the moment's gone. I can't do anything about it now. You covered a couple of games, Seb. I didn't know what games you wanted me to talk about other than the one I was at.
I only did the one game.
Oh, did you? I thought you did 2.
I know. I had a men's and women's doubleheader at West Adelaide.
Okay, look, I just want to give a special mention to Ruby King of Football NTC. They enjoyed a 2-0 win over Flinders United. Ruby King, for me, when I commentated last week, was best on ground. I think I picked her as my 3-pointer in our little nomination sort of thing. She, again, played wonderfully in this match. And NTC, after being told by Michaela Estelle at the start of the year not to expect too much because it was a young team, they're now sitting second on the ladder right behind West Adelaide. So King scoring in the 4th minute, and then 4 minutes from time at the very end there of the match. Elena Vega scoring. She'd come on as a substitute and scored the second for them. So Michael, are we to believe you, or were you just having that sort of thing? So they play, don't expect too much of us, David. We're going to be rubbish this year. Sitting second, 4 games in. They've got comments next. We talked about West Orange McCullough. You can talk about West Adelaide. The two teams down in 4th and 5th, Salisbury and Adelaide Uni, played out a 2-2 draw. Really a 6-pointer for those two teams. You would think the winner of that would probably have been, it was a big game for both. But Cote Rojas scored in the 34th minute after Emily Bouchereau had scored in the 2nd minute for Adelaide Uni. Bouchereau then scored her second to make it 2-1 for Adelaide Uni in the 64th minute, before Claudia Hewitt popped up in the 68th minute to make it 2-2. But if when you think about these kind of games, these are the do or die games, aren't they? You want to win these games when you're sitting just a few points behind the teams that are up in sort of 2nd and 3rd. That result leaves them both sitting on 7 points, so 2 points adrift of West Orange McCullough in 3rd. What does that leave us? Campbelltown still to get a win. That's the West Adelaide game. You can talk about that, Seb. We've talked about Flinders. Modbury Vista. Well, we thought this might be the game where they got their first ever WNPL match. They were playing Metro Stars, who had struggled to find form, let's be honest, and Metro Stars have had a poor season start, if you like. And this is Metro Stars' first win for them. Hayden Ingram opening the score. Hannah Toomey own goal was how Vista got their opening goal in the 15th minute. Hayden Ingram scoring the 41st minute before Victoria Mansueto scored in the 81st minute. And if my memory serves me correctly, Victoria Mansueto doing the shush to the crowd. This is, I think, this is Ingram's goal first.
Yeah.
See, I'm too far ahead of it. So yeah, a strike by Ingram into that far post, and then yes, Victoria Mansueto popping up in the 81st minute to make it 2-1 and take the points back to TK Shutter. And after she puts it away, you'll notice her giving a little shush to the crowds. Here it comes. A nice little lob, actually, to be fair to her. Here it comes. Here it comes. You watching? Here it comes. There you go. There you go. And just before we hand over to you, Seb, there's a cafe in Handorf. It's my little local cafe. It's called Same But Different. And the twins, Maddie and Jade Hunter Gilmore, both work in there. They serve me my breakfast. Well, I get them confused because they're identical twins. One of them served me breakfast on Sunday morning. I was down there. They listened to the podcast on their way into training, and I said I'd give them a shout out. So if you're in Handorf, Same But Different's the cafe to go to. That's where the twins work. There you go.
I'll talk about the first part of the doubleheader at West Adelaide. We're at Kilburn. Of course, a bit of the grudge match from that finals match last year. Emma Ryan getting the scoring underway. She's in brilliant form. 4 goals in 4 matches, I think. Statistically it's 5, but I think one of them has been incorrectly credited to her from a game against Metro. So it's 4 and 4, even though I think I said 5 and 4 during the commentary. Nini Amada also scoring. The 3 standouts for me in particular were Ryan. Lorian Renault at left back was very, very impressive. Played a nice ball, I want to say, for their 3rd goal, which will come up in a moment, which is really, really lovely. On Campbelltown, probably just lacking a bit of communication at times, in all honesty. Just a few misplaced passes and not too many players being in the same position at the same time. This is a well-worked goal through Anna Pritchard, the first ever player in this fixture to score for both sides, funnily enough. Of course, was a part of them and scored against Campbelltown in that finals match last year. She was very, very impressive as well. Stella Vitrek, the other for Campbelltown, the 2 of note for here. And this is this ball here. Or it comes up here, another misplaced one. I might have even missed the pass, my apologies. Comes in here. And again, West Adelaide just continuing some really, really good form. And again, don't look like they're really stopping. This assist actually by Yamada, very, very impressive into the front post and poked in very, I'm trying to think of the word now, very calmly by Emma Ryan for her second of the afternoon and finishing off a good win for West Adelaide. And I'm sure they'll continue. Got a big game against Uni after this weekend's cup round, which I'll be doing. So really looking forward to that one. But yeah, all in all, good performance. And David, for you.
I was just going to mention that the week before I'd been at Campbelltown commentating in their game, and Anna Pritchard had been there, and she was all dressed in the the Campbelltown kit and all of that. She was saying goodbye to the coaches. I think I was sitting with Joey Rikiki at the time, and she turned around and she walked away. And as she walked away, I noticed she had a West Adelaide bag on her back. But not only that, but the initials AP were clearly visible as well. You can't even say it was someone else's bag. So Joey Rikiki was going to fine her for that, and I hope he follows through with that.
I'm sure it helps you dubbing her in as well and reminding. We'll go on to finally the men's NPL round 5. FKB Grad and Playford playing at a 2-2 draw on Friday night. Adelaide City a 4-1 win over Adelaide Comets. Comets scoring their first goal and leading as well in that match for the first time this season. Sturt a 4-2 loss against Burkalla at Carina. Metro Stars 7-0. Against Para Hills. We ain't even talking about Para Hills. We'll get on that in a moment. West Adelaide 4-4 against Campbelltown City, and Adelaide United 1-1 against Croydon. I'll start on that 7-0 for Metro against Para Hills. Sort of, I guess, two stories in that being first match officially under Adam Van Dommel. And Para Hills now with 0 points. We found out. We forgot to mention early on as well during the game against Burkalla, which I covered. They had fielded an ineligible player. They didn't say who the player was, but there's only 11 players. Well, there's 18, whatever is in the squad. By your own sort of deduction, you could probably figure who it is. Fielded an ineligible player. They were already suspended coming over into South Australia. They didn't disclose that to the club or the league. And then also, the interesting thing, which in reading the report, was that because in South Australia we use the dribble system to track games and everything, the player came from Football Victoria and they've only implemented the dribble system for this 2026 season. So obviously not on the same system. Nothing was flagged by FA, so everything was good. But Para Hills, unfortunately, they have to suffer the brunt of it. They put out a statement as well, which is available to read. Obviously, Football SA statement is out as well. But all in all, an unfortunate scenario for Para Hills, really. Their only point of the season, they played the match very well after being there. It meant so much for them, that game. And now it's gone from them. I guess, Mark, just going you on sort of that and then going on to the game itself.
Yeah, well, I actually spoke with Stav Galekis after his game against Sturt. So I was talking to him about it, and he was saying that he goes, blessing in disguise, obviously, that they got the 3 points for it now. But he actually said it was actually a fantastic thing for them. Looking back now at that game where they did draw 2 apiece, he goes, without that draw, we may not have won the next games. It may not have given us that edge to then go and win against Campbelltown when they scored in the last minute. Then the following week, Tyrese Conway scored again in the last minute of the game. So he goes, being a draw for us, it was a great point in the fact that it gave us something. But we also took a lot from it, which we then took into the next 2 games, and now they've got the 3 points for it in the end anyway. So he said it's actually been brilliant for them. Obviously.
Well, I was going to say, not only that, the ramifications of it as well. Para Hills on 0 points, but on the Saturday, with Burkalla winning, they've now got a 5-point gap at the top of the table when it would have been only 2 had those points not been reversed. So it has, come the end of the season, if the title's decided by 2 or 3 points, possibly has big consequences.
Yeah, it could have big positives for Burkalla, and it could end up having major negatives for Para Hills. That could be the point they need to stay up. I mean, we saw it at the back end of last season, obviously, with that point they secured on the last day against Metro Stars. So that point could come back and haunt them. You just never know at this stage.
Continuing on with the rest of the games, who wants to go? You want to talk about it?
I can talk about the Metro game. I mean, what can you say? What can you say? 7-0. Para Hills clearly is struggling. They need something. And Andre Carl. I mean, we've got to talk about it. 5 goals in the game for Andre Carl. He scored head, right foot, penalties. His penalty was cheeky, but beautifully taken Panenka. So I mean, Metro. This is what you'd expect from a Metro team against a struggling Para Hills, is them to go out. I wouldn't say you expect 7 goals, but you'd expect them to be dominant. You'd expect them to win. You'd expect them to really make Para Hills pay for it. But you wouldn't expect them to then go and score 7. I think it was also the first time a player for Metro scored 5 goals in a game. Got from the stats that I did see. And I think that was from Dimmy mentioned that. And it's also one of their highest ever wins as well in the MPL. So massive day for them, massive day for Andre Carl, who now goes, I believe, with those
4 points, 4 goals clear at the top.
Yeah, he'll go clear top of the table there of leading goal scorer, who before the game it was Gonzalo Rodriguez and Zoe Sakani, funny enough, in the top of the battle there. But now he's clearly jumped ahead of that, and obviously that helps Metro's goal difference immensely. I'll continue, might as well go straight into the top of the table clash, which didn't turn out to be a top of the table clash because of the point system. Sturt dropped to 3rd because Playford played the night before. But anyway, so Sturt hosted Berkala. A very exciting game. It was actually a really good game in the fact that, believe it or not, Sturt started the better of the two sides. It was little mistakes like that there that actually cost them in the end. So they gave the ball away there. Sakani there to finish. He was brilliant. Sakani was played beautifully throughout the game. That while he was on, he came off late in the day, but he was brilliant. Sturt didn't actually play poorly. It was just a mistake like that, and that cost him every time. Every time Sturt made a mistake, Berkala pounced, and they were ruthless. They finished. I mean, look at that finish. He shouldn't be able to finish from there. And George Blackwood, who has been in great form as well, was able to finish. So it was things like that where it just didn't quite work for Sturt. And then second half, they came out. A beautiful ball in there from Christophilos to Sakani at the back post, who finished with 2 goals and an assist for the day. But Sturt came out the second half a different side again, and they really put them under pressure. First goal here from a set piece, managed to get that one in. And then 2 minutes later, they scored again to make it 3-2. So like I said, fantastic game. And like I said, the good thing, and this was the good thing, I watched Sturt play Metro a few weeks ago, and Sturt just were very, very defensive, very just shy going forward. They just didn't want to be aggressive going forward. But this game shows when they do attack teams, they will score goals. They just obviously in this instance reduce those mistakes, but obviously be a bit tighter at the back as well. And they're going to beat teams because they were really quite a nice side to watch. So great things for both sides to come. Obviously, Berkala sitting top. Sturt certainly hold their head up high. They're going to have a great season.
David, I'll go to you.
Where was I? Adelaide City. I was at Adelaide City and Adelaide Comets, wasn't I?
Yes, you were.
Actually, just before you do, I just had a quick look at the stat sheet here for MetroStar's biggest wins in the top tier, and 7-0 actually doesn't appear in their top 4. They won 8-0 against Cumberland in 2020, 8-0 against the Hills Hawks in 2005, 10-1 against Morbid Jets in 2011, and 11-1 against the hapless Adelaide Hills Hawks in 2005 at TK Shutter. So 7-0 was a big win, but it's actually not appearing.
Not one of their best.
No, they need to improve.
Scarily. Scarily. Jeez.
Not good enough, Metro.
No, pick it up, man. So I was at Adelaide City Park on Saturday afternoon. I was joined there by the WSL coach, Mr. Paul Morris, in a match that we were sort of thinking Comets probably wouldn't really do much in front of goal, and quite to the contrary, they opened the scoring. Lovely piece of play down the left-hand side by Aladner Bona to cross in for a young Jake Porter in the middle. His header was just perfectly directed. Irabona started out as captain, but only lasted 45. He was substituted at half-time. I think maybe an injury. Lewis Lauretanzio also went. He had some trouble with his shoulder, and he left the park as well. Dominic Costanzo equalised with a lovely curling shot with a beautiful view of it to the far post. And the goalkeeper, Gianni Tremonton, couldn't do much about that, just far too well placed. And that made it 1-1. And then, this Yuki Kitani goal came just on the half-time break. Squeezed the shot in low. And, I'll be honest, I thought Comets for the first 15 minutes, and I think Paul agreed with me, Comets for the first 15 minutes looked like an NPL side. They played some lovely football. But and this is the Asad Kasimovic goal in the 50th minute, which made it 3-1 and put it beyond reach. But just to go back to that point, Comets, for me, actually played very well in that first 12, 15 minutes. I think they woke a slumbering giant, is the term, and when they scored that first goal. And unfortunately, City just came out the blocks a lot stronger after that had gone in. But Comets didn't start too badly. I'd gone through my history of these teams meeting. Adelaide Comets' heaviest top-tier defeat was against Adelaide City in round 10 of 2015. So their heaviest loss had come back then. It was an 8-1 loss. City's goals scorers that day were Matt Mullen, Joel Allwright, and Anthony Costa. And playing that day and playing now, Bradley Corbo and Nicholas Bucco, although Corbo didn't come onto the park, but I reckon Corbo and Bucco must have been about 16 years of age way back then in 2015. And that's your Adelaide City versus Adelaide Comets roundup.
Alessio, Friday night football for you.
So Frank Mitchell Park again for me. With a great clash. I think a lot of people expected it to be one of the biggest games of the round. Of course, there was top of the table around the grounds, but this one's probably a middle table clash where both teams could have surged up the table with a win. I know Playford had picked off a fair few opponents away from home that were big scalps, and this one was another one they were looking towards. Game started off in exciting fashion, of course, with Abu Hussein's first goal for the club being an absolute corker from outside the box. And then within 5 minutes of that, there was two more goals, both coming from Playford as well. I hadn't often seen too many goals in the first halves, especially at Frank Mitchell Park, but it was great to see such a even and counter-attacking game that was going in at both ends. Of course, McGregor following his form from that great goal last week. And then also Babasaki, the first time I've have happened to watch him this season, and he was spectacular for the first half, though. Second half, I think I wasn't sure that he was still on the pitch. He was very unnoticeable, and that's why he probably got taken off. But he was, very quick player, very nippy player in behind the back lines, and it was interesting to see that Fernandes was actually running off him a couple of times in the first half too. The second half, I think Fernandes got an injury and they had to sub him off as well. Falco put in a great ball here for Boselli to get another goal. He started the season with fine form, both Boselli and Falco. Tour was probably a fair result. I think both coaches were fairly happy with that. They both thought that their team was the better for one half of the game. But I think for Beograd, there probably would be a bit more on the side that were hoping to get a win. I think Playford are probably just hoping to sit in and keep the result and happy with the draw, as most teams are visiting away there at Beograd. But I think it's a fair result for both, and it was an entertaining game for the neutral.
I will go next. Second half of my doubleheader at West Adelaide. 4-4, certainly not what I would have expected. And you have to bear with me because I 8 goals is a lot to remember. It was a very frantic and intense and quick game, really end to end. Nobody really slowed down, and at the final whistle, it was one of those ones where as soon as the whistle went, every single player was down to the floor, either laying down or on their knees, just how much they gave to this game. And West Adelaide just kept coming back, really. Campbelltown probably the better of the two sides overall, but West Adelaide just had a fight in them that didn't let them stop and led them to this result. It was very impressive. I'm just trying to remember names. Maxim Ivanic and Riley Stam showing themselves as a partnership very, very well. They work so well together. It's strange how it either, I'm not sure if it was used too much or if it just didn't work at FK Beograd for one reason or another, but the two of them combining, working out amazingly together so far for West Adelaide this season. Alex Banjak getting his first ever NPL goal, which at the time he didn't really celebrate too much because I want to say it was an equaliser. This finish from Josh Murray, he scored 2. He was brilliant. I think I gave him the player of the match as well. He was the one that turned it on every single time they went forward in Campbelltown. Jaden Labasso getting his first for Campbelltown as well. And overall, an entertaining enough game. It didn't really feel like a 4-4 in the sense up in the box. It was sort of one of those games where the goals, other than that one Josh Murray goal, nothing too spectacular. And it's one of those ones where I think until that last 5 minutes is when you start to feel the intensity rise even more. And you get yourself sort of caught up in the moment. And there comes a bit. There was a late chance for West Adelaide to win it, which either came off the crossbar or the post. But all in all, an entertaining game. And two teams, they met in pre-season. It was 3-3 then, so plenty of goals between these two sides, and yeah, a good night, and very good to see as well that it was a double header where both of the clubs were, across the men's and the women's, were the same two clubs. Of course, matches running throughout the whole day from probably like 9 a.m. up until this one. The men's and women's both being West Adelaide and Campbelltown from under 18s for the men's, reserves for the men's and women's. So a healthy crowd as well in the main stand you see around the pitch too. But all in all, a good night and yeah, thoroughly entertaining between those two. Finally, just touching on Adelaide United and Croydon playing out a 1-1 draw. The game itself, I got to watch bits and pieces, was nothing too entertaining. But the talking point was something we didn't even see until like yesterday or something, until Croydon posted it. Passia John's goal from before halfway. Incredible now that we've seen it. Didn't get to see it at the time for whatever reason. But Croydon... Oh, we do know, yes, we do know the reason. But Croydon getting their first point. Yeah,
you've got to come out and say it. You know, for whatever reason, the reason is AI cameras. That's why we didn't see it. So.
Yeah.
Oh no, I agree. Yes. Yeah.
Don't dance around about it. We didn't see the AI camera technology.
Exactly. It wasn't until the highlights came out that they were able to actually pan the camera and show it as one of the goals of the week.
And even then, I think Croydon posted their own VAO footage before. And that caught their VAO camera caught it brilliantly, might I say, for an AI camera. Yeah. Claps for that camera, because that did a brilliant job of. That's a camera we like. The ones that we're using to broadcast our own games don't capture the goals. But yeah, other than that, the game wasn't anything too spectacular. Brody Burkett penalty, he got his first. Yeah, that's basically. Unless you guys
went off injured.
Went off injured, unfortunately, as well.
Yes.
Anything else, three, you want to touch on that or around the games?
I just wanted to quickly mention Gianni Tremonton, the Adelaide Comets goalkeeper, I had nominated in my my nominations for my game for Team of the Week. He wasn't selected in our final thing because there's only one goalkeeper can be picked, right? We can't have
yes.
one goalkeeper in our
I don't think I can change the formation that much to include two goalkeepers.
Right. we do come under a little bit of scrutiny for our selections, but look, if I had and Paul Morris on commentary with me agreed. In fact he nominated Tremonton before I'd suggested that name too. Thought he had a fantastic game and goal. He actually had a save of one of his saves from the weekend was nominated for a save of the week, but it wasn't actually the best save he had in that game. It actually passed us by at one stage. He sort of very close range. I can't remember who the City player was that had the shot. Tremonton's just instinctively raised an elbow and deflected the ball out because it went out for a corner. It was only when a corner was given that we realised that he'd actually saved it. For me, Tremonton was absolutely superb, so doff my cap to him. And I was going to mention something else, but I've forgotten it. But anyway, Gianni Tremonton, well played. I thought you were fantastic on Saturday.
We will go on to our predictions and just touching on, I have some live score updates from the two men's cup games playing at the moment. At half-time, Tea Tree Gully 1-0 up against Gawler Eagles. And then also Adelaide Comets, they look like they're approaching half-time, and Comets 1-0 up at Ellis Park. So good for the O'Neill family that Tea Tree Gully are 1-0 up. And hopefully going into the quarterfinals for my sake.
Thankfully, everybody from Gollers at that game and not listening to the podcast and missed my earlier comment about them not scoring goals.
Yes, and then Sturton Modbury Jets playing right now in the WMPL WSL Cup, but no live updates for that. Actually would have only started 5 minutes ago anyway. Predictions, Alessio, how did we do last week? I know that I actually did pretty well because I was checking.
I did poorly.
I did. I think I got, if I had to guess, I want to say I got four spot on.
4 spot on?
Yeah. Tell me.
Very close. You had 3 spot on. But also, David had 3 spot on too.
Oh, good work.
No, that's not as cool. It's not as impressive if he does 3.
Hopefully, we'll have a new graphic this week as well that will show the table and show our all-time predictions as well. I just did some maths today and redid from our first week of this season to see our total points and total correct scores tally as well. But we'll just go through this week for the time being. Mark picked up 18 points and 1 correct score. David picked up 21 points, 3 correct scores. Seb, 24 points and 3 correct scores. And myself, 18 points and 1 correct score. I'll go through those perfect ones as well because I know they're one to note. So David picked the Modbury Vista men's as his perfect result. He also picked up Vipers men's as his perfect. And he also picked up Jags women as his perfect. Mark picked up Port Pirates as his perfect result. Seb picked up 3 in the WMPL with West Adelaide women, Bacala women, and Adelaide Uni women. And I picked out NTC women in the WMPL. So that leaves our table. Mark still retains top spot, 116 points, and an all-time tally of 15 perfect scores. Seb is in second at 108 points, all-time tally of 10 perfect scores. Myself in third, 105 points with also 10 perfect scores. And David in fourth, 96 points with 7 perfect scores.
Well, I've not quite hit 100 yet.
We're stepping it up though. Jeez. Good work, Alessio.
Yeah, it's you can really tell the difference. Those first 3 weeks where we didn't have any State League 2s, or it was the first week that WMPL was on as well. I think that's where all the points came in, because I think the first couple of weeks were all on single or double digits, just above 10 points, and then after that it's 20s and 15s and 19s. So.
All right. This week's a bit of a weird week. It's a few mixed fixtures. So what we're going to do is we've done the one WMPL WSL Cup game. We'll do the other game now, being played on Saturday. Adelaide Jaguars versus the Cove. I've gone for 1-0 after extra time to the Cove against Adelaide Jaguars. At Adelaide Jaguars too.
I'll go the opposite. I'll go Jaguars 1-0 after extra time.
I'll go Jaguars 2-1 in 90.
I'll go Jaguars 3-1 in 90.
Jaguars 2-1 for Mark, and then 3-1 Jags for Alessio. The other weird one, the WMPL is on this weekend, a Monday afternoon, 5:15 p.m. kickoff on Easter Monday. I have the privilege of doing that one at Service FM Stadium. I've gone for between Football SA and Adelaide Comets, I've gone for a 3-2 win for Football SA.
I'll go Comets 3-2.
I'll go. There you go, Mark. You go, David. Sorry.
I'll go an NTC winning that one 3-2. Ruby King hat trick. She's on fire.
This is a league game, right?
Yes, league game. So it's
draw for me, please.
Yeah, the league starts. Round 5 starts on Monday, and ends on the Friday, because I technically do I do the first game of the round on Monday, and then I'm also the last game of the round on the Friday night at 8:30. So, but we'll predict the rest of those. Pardon?
Does anyone know when Blue Eagles are playing their catch-up games? Because they've got about.
I haven't seen it. I haven't checked.
Yeah, not
They'd be able to do it in one of the. They could have often do it this weekend, I think, because Blue Eagles and. Well, they're not playing.
Modbury have a cup game.
Yeah, I was going to say if they played Cove, both of them are not in the cup, but that's
Yeah,
the
anyway.
result.
Next up, I've picked 5 Men's Australia Cup fixtures of interest that we can do now. Starting off, Playford versus Sturt at Playford tomorrow night. I've gone for Playford 2-2 after extra time and the home side to win on penalties.
They play
I'll
each
go
other in the
2-2.
league the week after.
I'll go
don't they?
2-2 after
Maybe.
90. And Playford to win 3-2 in extra time.
I'll go 1-1 after 90. 2-2 after 120. Start to win in penalties. 17-16.
Alessio?
I'll go Sturt 5-4 in extra time.
All right. Next one I picked was Para Hills East versus Adelaide Atletico. At Para Hills East.
I'll go Adelaide Atletico 2-1 in 90.
Wow. Against the cup set, Mark. How disappointing.
Yeah, I know.
Was that 2-1?
2-1, yeah. I'm
I'll
sure
go
there's another cup set I can pick.
Para Hills East 4-2 in extra time.
I'm going to go with Para Hills East as well. 3-1 in 90 minutes.
Next, grand final rematch on Saturday. Croydon versus Metro Stars. I've gone for 2-0 Metro Stars.
I'll go for Metro Stars winning this one as well. I'll go 3-2 in 90.
I'll go 3-0 Metro.
Uh, 3-1 Metro in 90.
And then
Have we all gone for Metro
lastly,
there?
we have.
Sorry,
And lastly, for now, until predictions come out on our social media tomorrow, Salisbury Inter versus Para Hills Knights. I've gone for 2-1 after extra time at Underdown Park to Salisbury Inter.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'd like to see Para Hills Knights bounce back. I think it would be good to see them get a bit of luck go their way, but Salisbury Inter for me as well. Sorry.
Yeah, 2-1 Salisbury Inter as well.
No, I'm going to go Para Hills Knights. Para Hills Knights to win this one 3-2 in 90.
I was going to go a cup set and go for Para Hills.
Go for the underdog.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go 2-2 after extra time. So 2-2 at 90, 2-2 at extra time, and I'm going to go Para Hills win on penalties.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all for now. The rest of our predictions for the Cup will come out tomorrow before quite a few of the games are played tomorrow on Thursday night due to, I imagine, players wanting to be away for the Easter weekend. So the rest of those will come out tomorrow. That's us. Just about done. Anything from the three of you before we finish off for another week?
Well, obviously these games at the weekend aren't covered on telly, so now there's no excuse to stay at home on the couch and watch them. Get yourselves out to some games, support some local football. Just find your nearest ground if your team's not playing, and just go along and grab a mate and go along and watch some football, please.
Even if you're in Whyalla, there's a game up there too this weekend, so there's no excuse if you're up there either.
Yep.
Mark,
I'm
Alessio?
just going to say, look, if anyone's willing to jump on board and sponsor our show, please reach out. You can donate as well, but if you want some naming rights on our show, please reach out to us and let us know.
Alessio?
Yeah, same for me. Covered by the other guys. Make sure you get out to the grounds. There's football all over the weekend, so make sure you just keep an update on Dribble and watch that as well. So, just make sure you keep up and support.
And
Absolutely.
if you don't go to the football, there's the Easter market. There's the Easter markets up at Meadows. My daughter will be working there, so if you want to go buy something, and also there's also Port Adelaide Anfield have the Kite Festival on over 3 days this weekend as well out at Semaphore. So if you have the chance, by all means get out to those local businesses as well. So go see some football and then go to the markets.
Absolutely.
Just one other quick thing, Seb, on April Fools. This isn't me. This is somebody else's humour. I wouldn't do this. But it's just a little note on it's just a little note on April Fools today. Leather seats for grandstands. One club joining the A-League. Salah to Marconi or to West Adelaide. And Italy not qualifying for the World Cup. All of them April Fools today. Not my joke.
There was one thing I did want to, and I think we've let this slide a little bit, and I'm actually a little disappointed in all three of us to let this slide. But David, what album or what record have you got in the background this week?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Mark. I forgot about that
we
too.
haven't done it the last couple of weeks. We used to ask every week, but we haven't done that. Well, we've got to get back on that.
I think this is an old one. It's the Scotland 1982 World Cup squad with We Have a Dream, but it's the original single on vinyl. And actually, looking at the lyrics at the back, it makes special mention of a hero of mine, played for Nottingham Forest, John Robertson, who sadly passed away last year, or maybe even at the start of this year. So, John Robertson was an absolute hero of mine. But yeah, the 82 World Cup squad. Song from Scotland. We Have a Dream.
And speaking of music from the World Cup, I believe America has released their World Cup song. If you get a chance, have a listen, because it does not even come close to some of the best ones that we've heard, and we've talked about them in the past. But the likes of Waka Waka is being rated as one of the best. The new one I've only heard a very small snippet of it. Doesn't even come close. But yes, have a look if you get the chance.
I don't know if it really qualifies as a song.
Apparently Adelaide City have got one. We should review that one week.
Just before we finish as well, I was just checking the weather for this weekend. On Saturday, it's 25, which a lot of footballers are playing. Tomorrow's 23. Are we classifying that as thermals weather, or what are we saying for this weekend? Are we saying bring your thermals or don't bring your thermals?
Well, fortunately, I'm playing down the hill this week, so I think it'll be a couple of degrees cooler, and maybe on Saturday it will be cool enough to
25 on Saturday.
Yeah.
Mate, if you're wearing thermals at 25, I'm worried.
Okay, let's say don't bring your thermals this weekend, and save them for in a few weeks' time, maybe when it gets a bit colder. Thank you as always for listening and watching. Make sure to keep up to date with us on all our socials. That's us done for another week. Go watch the Cup football. Plenty of football happening everywhere around Adelaide this weekend. Adelaide United playing on Good Friday as well. The doubleheader big game for the women. They could finish second in the A-League Women's if they win the game and a result or two go their way, and increases the likelihood of possibly a home grand final again if things fall their way. The men's with the big game against Auckland on Friday as well. So football on Friday. I think those are the only games on the Friday because of it being Good Friday, and there's no Cup football being played then either. So plenty to get out to, enjoy it, watch it. That's us done for another week. Thank you for listening and watching, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
See you
then.
And we look like we're heading to extra time, but there's still 5 minutes to play here, Mark. And by all means, there could be more chances. Still in the box, and it's another goal! And it's Andre Cole, the hero for Croydon! We thought it was over, but it's not over, and Croydon look like they're going to go all the way to the win.
We can't say that now. Here goes Yuki Sasaki into the area. Panagaris, Chrissy Panagaris. Adelaide Comets have taken the lead.
Falcon there, but it leaves Owen Windsor. And a third for Metro Stars.
Here's Emma Ryan. She's not one of them because she's from Darwin. The shot from DeCola. Lily DeCola scores in the cup final again and wins it for West Adelaide.
As the ball cuts back here to Odenwalder. And James Odenwalder scores. He makes it 2-0 for West Adelaide on the day.
I bet he was going to be Travella if he puts one in. He goes himself instead. And it's still Soy Sakani. It's unbelievable, David, as well. And that one is definitely going to be credited to him.
Will have to be chased down by Rapuano. He'll put in a cross of his own.
Hobbs wasn't able to capture it. It's in. Is that the one that seals Adelaide Atletico promotion?
I got the skills to make the girls sing, and the geezers too. Yeah, we're doing this thing.